I think the Georgia Bulldogs might run all over LSU on Saturday in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, a stadium that Georgia has already played really well in this season, and they have an opportunity to play in that stadium three different times this year. Obviously, I'm talking about the Chick-fil-A kickoff game against Oregon, who they obliterated 49 to nothing in that opening week. It was a top 11 matchup. Georgia was 3, I believe, and Oregon was number 11. Um, a lot of us saw that it wasn't going to be a close game, but I don't know if anyone saw just the absolute demolition that took place that day. I don't know if I saw it coming in that fashion. And I did say they were worlds above them. Well, guess what? Georgia's a lot better than this LSU team, too. I mean, the betting line is hovering around 20 points. It's getting up to that far. LSU's coming off a bad loss to Texas A&M where they got ran all over. Devon A. Chain, one of the better running backs in the SEC, had his way, and Georgia can do that to them. This is an LSU team. It's in year one under Brian Kelee, and it's not all put together for them. And I'm not even saying they've done a bad job. This is a really good football team. They're 9-3 in the SEC. For the people that care about what the name Alabama means, they beat Alabama by that 2-point conversion in overtime. But their defense in the moments that have mattered are not LSU's defense in the moments that have mattered this year has not gotten the job, particularly on the ground. And I'm going to jump into that in a second. Ryan Clear from Dog Post here. Make sure you're checking out the Kelee Ringo-Signed DAWGSTRUCTION. He has signed copies. We have a limited number of them. We haven't run out yet, but get those before they do run out. It's a great gift for the holidays. There's also prints, different angles of the interception that we took. He signed those as well if you want. Link down below to find all of that stuff. So what I'm saying, where in the moments where LSU needed to stop them, they've been ran all over. Well, Tennessee. Florida, they did win, but Florida ran for over 200 yards against them. And usually when teams run for over 200 yards, they win. Tennessee, you would think, oh, well, Hendon Hooker had some crazy game, right? Well, Hendon Hooker had a good game, but Tennessee ran for 263 yards in Baton Rouge. I mean, they got destroyed at home by Tennessee, and Georgia destroyed Tennessee, and So I don't think these teams are super close to each other right now. I do think that the playoff picture is almost set as far as who's in. The order might change, but I think Georgia, Michigan, and TCU will probably have confirmed their spots no matter what. Now, LSU had an opportunity to make the SEC championship but lost to A&M, and now Georgia, you can kind of cruise. And that's part of the reason why I think the Dogs are going to run for a lot of yards. They're running for, I have the number written down. It's around here somewhere. But the last 3 games, Georgia's ran for a lot of yards. I have the number written down, and I can't find it. It's over 200 yards a game. Georgia, 230 rushing yards a game, Georgia's running. At the beginning of the season, it was the passing game that was doing really well. Now, recently, it's the running game. Well, LSU, what's been their problem recently? They've been allowing a lot of rushing yards. I think Georgia might want to sit on this ball, run the clock out, make this a quick game. LSU's got some guys on defense, and Harold Perkins is the guy that everyone talks about, the freshman. He's had some great games, but one freshman outside linebacker is not going to get the job done. He's not going to change the game by himself. It'd be the whole LSU defense that would need to step up. Harold Perkins can't do it by himself. Kenny McIntosh is running really hard. Ever since the Florida game, he ran really hard. Obviously, he broke a big run. He's their versatile back. I expect him to get a lot of touches. Daijun Edwards is the best pure runner out of the 3. He runs with a purpose and is hard to tackle. And Kendall Milton, as much shade as I've thrown Kendall's way, he is starting to run better. And you've seen him break off big touchdown runs in 2 of the last 3 games. Mississippi State, and then, of course, against Georgia Tech on Saturday, he had about a 45-yard rushing touchdown. His burst looks good. Those 3 running backs are all in a rhythm right now, and that's not a good thing for LSU, especially for a Georgia team that's going to want to hold on to some of their bag of tricks for the playoff, which they are basically secured in. Last year, what did we see with Georgia and Alabama? We saw Georgia not get up for that game in the SEC championship. They just didn't. And I don't think that's going to happen again this year because of what happened last year. But they do, I'm sure the players and Kirby notice they probably have secured a playoff spot. So I could see them just trying to get in and out of the stadium, running the ball all over a Texas or all over an LSU team that just got ran all over by a really bad Texas A&M football team. I think the Dogs are going to pound it on the ground, and Stetson's going to make his handful of throws, a couple of them being downfield. But this is going to be because of the rushing attack is my prediction as to why the Dogs rout the Tigers in Atlanta. Make sure you're checking out all the sites. Make sure you're checking out all the Kelee Ringo-Signed merchandise. That's a great Christmas present. Links are down below.